to my channel. Happy... What day is this video going up? I think this video is going up on Tuesday, which I don't usually post on Tuesday, but the end of the month is always very busy for me video-wise, so I believe I'm posting every day this week. Today we will be talking about my March TBR, which, if you're familiar with bookish type videos, a TBR is to be read. So I have put a list of books together that I want to read in the month of March. Now, I totally understand that books is not everybody's cup of tea. I will be diamond painting. I'll be working on my March Diamond Art Club calendar, but right off the top here, if you do not like books, you're not interested, I totally get it. Like I said, I will be posting, I believe, every day this week. So if this video is not for you, hopefully I will see you in one of the other videos being posted this week. Now, if you're still here and you are interested in book content, hello, welcome. Thank you for checking out today's video. I've really been enjoying these calendar videos. They are a lot of fun to put together. I was thinking about the books that I wanted to read in March, so that was a lot of fun. And yeah, I guess let's just get into it. Now, these are not in numerical order, so I might take a second and put them in numerical order. I do prefer to work that way on these types of projects. So really quickly, let me just get these into some kind of order. I feel like, okay, I do have the right one. For a second there, I was like, do I even have the right pack of drills? I do. 5, we have 2. There's actually a ton of colors in this one. I think there's 18 if I read the packages correctly, and I'm looking at the last few colors that are blues and they all look the same. So I don't know how I feel about that, but that's okay. 7, okay, 13, 12, 11, 10. Yeah, there are 18 colors. Yikes. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Perfect. All right, that wasn't too bad. I will be using the Diamond Art Club pen. This is the newer version that has the clear wax preloaded, and I did also put some of the clear Diamond Art Club wax in my multi-placer. I hope I didn't push out too much. I believe this is my first time using the wax preloaded pen. This is the same type of pen that they had before, but it was loaded with putty. I think I prefer the wax. It's much easier to twist up, if I'm being honest. All right, let's just start here. Number 1. Now, these are pretty staticky, so we're gonna we're gonna do our best here to not make too much of a mess. I don't know how much of this I will do on camera. We're just gonna kind of go with the flow today. I just got home from work and I wanted to try and get this video filmed before Steven gets home from work. So we're gonna just roll with it. We'll see how much we get done as I talk about the books that I want to read, and then if I need to, I can go off camera and finish and then come back and show you guys. So I did put together my list of books that I want to read in March. I have some new releases that I'm very interested in, and then some that are on my 25 books for 2025 list. And then there are a couple books that I had found on Kindle Unlimited that I have downloaded that I would like to get to. So it's a mix match, or what is it? Mishmash? Mishmash? of things that I want to read in March. And I'm actually really looking forward to a lot of what I have chosen to read. So let's go ahead and get started. I will have the covers up to the right-hand side of the screen, just so I know sometimes, like, if you're from another country, maybe I can be hard to understand, or sometimes, you know, I mumble or I'm away from the camera and you can't quite hear it. So I will have the cover for all of these books up on the screen if you're interested in any of them. So let's go ahead and get started. This month I decided to start with the new releases that I'm really interested in. The last 2 months I've put those at the end, but there are some books coming out that I'm very excited for. So the first book on my TBR is Wild Side by Elsie Silver. This is book 3 in her Rose Hill series, which I have very much enjoyed so far. This is connected to the Chestnut Spring series, which I would say is probably her most popular book series. There's a sibling from the Chestnut Spring series in this series. That's actually the first book. I really liked the first book. I liked the second book. I think I preferred book 1 over book 2, but book 3, I'm so ready for. I am so ready for this book. I have it pre-ordered. I actually pre-ordered through Barnes & Noble because they had like an exclusive edition that came with artwork on the inside cover, which is interesting because for the second book, Walmart had the same type of setup. So I don't know what's going on there, but I did pre-order from Barnes & Noble and I love the covers. I think this book is green, if I'm not mistaken. I think the first one was pink, the second one was orange, and I think this one is green. This is a series all about single dads, which I love single dad romances. I don't know, there's just something about like a hunky man being a good dad that does it for me. So very, very excited for this book. I have read everything that Elsie Silver has written, and she's kind of like an auto, I think in the book community they call it like an auto by author. I will probably pick up everything that she ever puts out because I just really enjoy her writing, and I feel like she gets better and better and better with each book series. Next on my list to read in March is Drop 3 by Indy Valentine. This is a second book in a series. A lot of these, okay, hold on, I need to preface this by, a lot of these either are a continuation in a series, so I don't want to like spoil it too much for you guys. And then some of them, I literally have no idea what they're about. I like to go into books kind of blind. I just think it's a lot of fun to not really know what you're getting yourself into. So if I'm not giving a very good description, I apologize for that. But either I don't know or I don't want to spoil. I don't want to spoil it for you guys. I will say that I think Wild Side is a marriage of convenience. If I'm remembering the end of Wild Eyes, which was book 2, if I'm remembering that book correctly, I believe that it is marriage of convenience and kind of like enemies-ish to lovers. I wouldn't say enemies. I would say like mutually not big fans of each other to lovers. So I will try to tell you guys like the tropes if I remember them off the top of my head. So the second book is Drop 3 by Indy Valentine. Now this is the second book to, what was that book called that I read in January? Did I read it in January or February? Hold on, I need to consult I think it was January. What was that book called? I remember I hauled it in a monthly book haul. Why don't I see it? Hold on. Iron Flame, no. What is going on here? 2025 new releases. When did I buy that book? Endgame. Yeah, okay. It's book 2. The first book was Endgame, which I think I read in January, and I really, really liked it. I think I gave it like 4 stars, maybe. I, for the life of me, cannot remember who book 2 is about, but I do know that I was very excited. When I got the little, like, peek at who the next book was about, I was very excited for that. This is it's a sports romance series, and it's centered around baseball, which is kind of the perfect time. Like, spring training is starting up. Steven is a big baseball guy, so we've had spring training games on the TV now for a couple of days, and I don't know, I like to be like a little bit of an immersive person, so it's baseball season, or just about baseball season, so I like to pick up, you know, baseball romance books. So I'm very excited for that book. And then the other new release, I only picked 3 books off of like my new release list that I was really interested in picking up this month, but the third one is The Strawberry Patch Pancake House. Is there a longer book title that you can think of? This is book 4 in the, what is this book series called? It's going to bother me that I can't remember the name of the series. Amazon. What is the name of the series? It's like a Gilmore Girls type of series. There was a lot of inspiration taken from that TV show for the entire book series. What did I say? Strawberry Pancake House or something? Yeah, here we go. The Strawberry Patch Pancake House. It's book 4 in the Dream Harbor series. I have read all 3 of the other books. It was the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, and the Christmas Tree Farm. I've read all 3 of those books and I really enjoyed them. They're very like seasonal. They're nothing like super special, but they are still fun to read. I think I've listened to the audiobooks for all of them, and it was just like kind of a quick audiobook that I could listen to at work without being too worried about what was going to happen. I wonder who book 4 is about. I'm actually gonna look it up and see if I remember the characters. A world-renowned chef, single dad, okay, moves to a small town to run a pancake restaurant. Oh, I don't know if I remember her. Oh, so single dad nanny. Huh, interesting. I can't say I don't like that. Nanny, single dad. I tend to quite enjoy those types of books. So those are the 3 new releases that are on my list. I do have some other new releases that are coming out in March that I would like to pick up the physical books for, but those are the only ones that I'm like, you know, very interested in reading for the month of March. So the rest of the books that I have written down are, most of them I own in physical copy. There are a couple at the end that I had just seen on Kindle Unlimited that I was very interested in. So for a fantasy romance book, actually for this one I only own the audiobook. I don't actually own a physical copy because I don't love the cover. I'm so bummed I missed out on the alternate cover for this one. I believe this book got picked up by a traditional publisher and the indie published alternate cover is now gone, which is so sad. But the book is Quicksilver by Callie Hart. This was very popular kind of towards the end of 2024. It is, I believe, a fantasy romance. I've kind of been, you know, jonesing for a fantasy book lately. I was in a little bit of like a fantasy binge. I was listening to some audiobooks at work. I was reading some on my Kindle. But then I kind of got caught up in some of the romancy Valentine's-y books that I wanted to read. So I haven't done a fantasy in a little bit now, and Quicksilver has been on my mind. Like I said, I do own the audiobook for this one. It was on sale on Audible, I think on Black Friday. It was literally like $2. So I picked it up. I really didn't need to because the book is available to borrow on Hoopla, but I didn't realize at the time, but that's okay. So yeah, Quicksilver. I know nothing about this book other than it was very popular, and sometimes I I get caught up in the hype of a book, and this one has been very, very hyped. So I'm excited to read that one, or I will be listening to that one since I do own the audiobook. Next up, we have a book series. So if you've been following along so far this year, I have been trying to get through some of my hockey romance series. So in January, I read the off-campus series. This month, spoiler alert for my books that I read in February, I finished the Briar U series, which is like the companion series to off-campus. And I kind of want to keep going. I feel like March is kind of the end of hockey romance season for me, since we'll be getting into spring pretty quickly. So I want to read the Wildcat Hockey series by Rebecca Genshak. There are 5 books out in that series right now. I believe I own all 5 physically, but I own the first 4 in audiobook format as well. So we have Wildcat, Wild About You, Wild Ever After, In Your Wildest Dreams, and Forever Wild. Now, do I know what any of these books are about? No. Did I start buying them when they were first published like 2 years ago because I loved the covers? Yes, that is absolutely what happened. I picked up the first book because I was like, oh my god, the cover is so cool. And then the next one came out, so I bought it. And then the next one came out, so I bought it. And then the next one came out, so I bought it. And now I have, like I said, I think I have the 5th one. I know I don't have the audiobook for the 5th one, but I think I do own it in paperback. And I haven't read any of the series, so I'm going to try to get one more hockey romance series off of my TBR. This series is on my 25 books for 2025, so it would be nice to check off another pretty big series this early in the year. And after watching the 4 Nations hockey tournament that they had in lieu of like an NHL All-Star game, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of into hockey. There are some very attractive hockey players, and I am kind of feeling the hockey romance right now. So while I'm in that type of mood, I would like to check off that pretty big series from my TBR. I think that series is complete. I think she was done at 5 books. I believe it's an interconnected standalone type of thing. So it's like multiple members of the hockey team get their own book. So that's that. Next up is A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed. I was able to get this audiobook through Libby, which is great. I do own a physical copy. The physical copy I have has like books as the sprayed edges. I have shown it on my channel before, and it is so beautiful. I believe this is more of a new adult fantasy. So I don't think it's like a fantasy romance in like a spicy kind of way. Which is nice. I do prefer to kind of listen to some less spicy books at work. I don't worry about it too much. You know, obviously I have headphones and stuff, but just for sake of feeling a bit more comfortable, I do prefer some less spicy type of books for work. And I believe that this has, I think all the romance, if there is any, is closed door. So if you're looking for something like that, there you go. I am excited for this one though. Like I said, I've been really feeling the fantasy type books lately, and I think that this one will be pretty good. I've seen a couple of reviews that have been a little bit mixed, but honestly, I don't really go off of other people's book reviews. I feel like, which is funny because here I am talking to you like about books, but I feel like everybody's different, and something that I really love, you might be like, oh my god, that's the worst book I've ever read. And that's fair, to each their own. But if it's a book that I'm interested in, I will at least give it a shot, because I might love it, even though somebody else didn't really like it. So, A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed. Next up is another little series. There's only 3 books in it so far. I don't know if the series is done or if the author is still writing books within the series, but it is the When in Rome series by Sarah Adams. Now, this is an author who I believe she used to exclusively be closed door, but I believe in her newest release, she's gotten a little bit more spicy. I wouldn't call them like full-on smut scenes, but I don't think she's fully closed door anymore. So I know some people were a little bit upset about that, but I don't know. How do we feel about that? Are you okay with the spice? Do you prefer like full-on no spice in your books? I'm interested to know. No shade or anything to anybody. I read spicy books. It's so funny because I'm going to go off on a tangent and then I will tell you the titles of those books. Actually, I'll tell you them now. When in Rome, Practice Makes Perfect, and Beg, Borrow, or Steal. Beg, Borrow, or Steal just came out last month. I believe I showed that in my book haul and mentioned that I was interested in reading that. We have a couple more books, but I will give you my funny story. So we were at my sister's house this weekend for my niece's oldest birthday celebration thing, and my niece got a book. I gave her a book that she really wanted, and we were talking about it. And then we were kind of talking about like audiobooks, and my dad's wife mentioned a book. So I had gotten a book for Christmas from them, and it was Hexed by Emily McIntyre, which I believe is a dark romance. I have not read the series. I own the series in its entirety, and I've mentioned this before, but this author had very aggressive cancer. I believe it was breast cancer, but I don't want to like misstate the facts on that. So when that was announced, I went and I bought the entire series as kind of like a, do my part, I guess, to help her maybe raise a little bit of extra money. And the last book in the series came out really close to my birthday. So I was like, I'll just put it on my birthday list. And if somebody gets it, then they get it. Well, my dad bought it for me for Christmas. Obviously not knowing, I don't even know what the book is about. But his wife was like, oh my God, I tried listening to that Hooked book that you were talking about, and I had to turn it off because it was so spicy. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. Like, lady, my dad is sitting right there. What are you doing? It was funny. I was like, oh my God, this is embarrassing. So I don't mind spicy books. That series is like the villain is the love interest. So I don't know if you're interested in that series. That will eventually go on my TBR. I have not read it yet, but I would like to at some point, especially now that it's completely finished. But anyway, the last books on my TBR are two books that I just found randomly searching on, not even searching, I was just like scrolling on the recommended section of my Kindle, and I found Chasing the Wild and Braving the Storm by Elliot Rose. I have never heard of this author before. I've never heard anybody talking about these books, but the covers looked really cool. And the rest of the series comes out this year. I think the third book comes out in April. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll read the first two, and if I like them, I can pick up book 3. So I think just by judging off of the covers, I believe they're cowboy romance books, which is something that I enjoy. I do love a cowboy romance, and I'm interested. I'm intrigued by them. I don't know that there are audiobooks for them. Like I mentioned, I saw them on my Kindle, so they'll probably be a Kindle read for me. And then if I like them, I would consider picking up the paperbacks. So I think that was 15 books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 15 books for March. I think that's the same size as my February TBR. I feel like 15 is generally a good number for me. It gives me a little bit of wiggle room if, maybe I'm not really feeling audiobooks at work and I want to listen to maybe like a live court trial instead, or, I can binge all 15 books, and then if I still have time in the month, I can add in a couple more as I see fit. So definitely let me know what is on your guys's TBR for March. I love book recommendations. Like I mentioned before, I don't really go off of book reviews. I much prefer recommendations as opposed to like reading Goodreads reviews. I actually don't like Goodreads reviews at all. I have a Goodreads. I haven't used it in years. I could not even tell you the last time I logged into my Goodreads account. I don't know. It's just so different. And I hate when people just like completely bash authors. I hate that. Everybody should be able to read what they want to read without being worried about it, in my book. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and, oh shoot, dang it. I missed a leaf. Can I get these without making too much of a mess? I think so. Once again, I overestimated the time it takes to complete one of these calendar pages, but that's okay. Get in there. This one is pretty though. I do like this one. At first I was kind of like, oh, I'm bummed we don't have a lot of St. Patrick's Day, but they did add in a couple of little clovers with the gold coins. Speaking of that, I haven't purchased them yet. By the time you guys are seeing this, I will hopefully have purchased it. I'm waiting for a book that comes out tomorrow, which is the day you guys are seeing this video. There's a new release that comes out on the 25th. Although now I'm thinking, is it the 25th or the 26th? Oh shoot, I hope it's the 25th. Let's see. February? Ah, I think it's the 26th. Gosh darn it. I am waiting for a book that comes out before I place an Amazon order, but now I'm worried about sale prices on the things I have in my cart. But what I was going to say is I have everything picked out for our work tree for March. I'm very excited about it. I think it'll be very cute. If you're new here, this year I started a tree at work that's decorated for each season, and the February one came out really, really cute. I liked that one quite a bit. And I'm excited for St. Patrick's Day. And I actually have already picked everything out for Easter. And I might actually go ahead and I might actually go ahead and order that stuff because it's all on sale right now. And I'm kind of like, I should get it while it's on sale because I waited for the St. Patrick's Day stuff and now none of that's on sale. So I might try to get like a couple of months ahead on the tree decorations just so I can, save a little bit of money. Because really I just do it for myself. Obviously like my coworkers like it, but I work with a bunch of men and they're just like, oh yeah, it looks cool. My one coworker today was like, isn't it time to take Valentine's Day down? And I was like, it's still February. What do you want me to do? Decorate with all the pictures of the presidents for President's Day? No, we have a monthly festive tree. It's still February, which means you're still having to look at the freaking Valentine's Day decorations, sir. He wasn't being nasty about it. He was just trying to be funny. But anyway, I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is I will finish the March page off camera, and then I will come back and I will show you guys what it looks like, and we will do a little bit of a wrap up on the video. All right, everybody, I have finished my calendar page. For some reason, I feel like the drills, I don't know, they're not as like neat as previous pages. So I don't know if the spaces were a little too big or the drills were a little too small. I'm not quite sure, but nonetheless, it came out very cute, very springy. And I do have a couple of birthdays written down for March. My grandmother turns 89 on Monday, so that's very exciting. And just as a reminder, if you have a birthday in March, please leave a comment down below so I can add you to the calendar, and I will give you a birthday shout out on or around your birthday, depending on if I remember or if there's a video going up that day. So don't forget to leave your March birthdays in the comments down below. And that's going to go ahead and do it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed my March TBR. Let me know if you have any books that you'll be reading in the month of March in the comments, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!